going on, aliens? I'm Mike Rosa, and today we're at the dungeon. We got an awesome collab workout video with some freaking beasts. We got CJ of Falconer Fitness.
Welcome to the Filthy Animals.
We got Josh and Kyle of Colossus Fitness.
Hope to crush it today.
Excited to be here from Toronto, Canada.
Let's go. And we got Mike of Gerardi Peformance.
Stay tuned, this is going to be a crusher workout.
Let's get into it.
Like old times.
One of my biggest tips is just get out of your head. And years ago, it was about 7 years ago, we met Mike, and I remember just doubting myself and telling myself I couldn't do it. I wasn't able to do it, and then after multiple attempts of just psyching myself up, I was able to do it. So even coming in today, a lot heavier than I'm used to, if I go in and say I'm gonna fail, this is too heavy, I don't have chalk, my hands are gonna slip, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna fail. I came in, I'm gonna crush it, I'm with the boys, let's get after it. And especially deadlift, you just rip it off the ground. Obviously you wanna keep your form tight, but get out of your own head and you'll be able to get stronger within this movement.
Hip thrust, RDLs, and OC is one.
Alright, so my biggest tip is pulling the slack out of the bar. If you pull a limp bar, it's going to shock you. So if I'm not grabbing on this bar and I try to yank it, I'm going to naturally fall forward. Whereas every bar, especially when the weight gets heavier, will have a little bit of whip to it. I can pre-engage in my hamstrings, bring that chest up, get the lats tight, and then you can power up when it's not a gazillion pounds. So everybody's anatomy is a little bit different. Everyone has different hip joints. So depending on what feels most comfortable for you, set up your foot position accordingly. So a narrow stance is going to be one option. You can also go a little bit wider if it feels more comfortable, especially if you're feeling it in your lower back, and do it sumo. You want to take it an extra step and get even wider, point your toes out, get really low, and then get ready to pull like that.
Okay, fitness tip to help you with the deadlifts is if you have a hard time engaging your lats and driving through the feet, you actually have someone help you. Put a band here with a little bit of resistance, have them lock the lats, drop the butt, and then as they pull in, they'll keep it close to their body, and this will keep the lats engaged the whole time to give you a better deadlift.
Yeah, that's a great view.
Boom. Yep. Bum. Drive. That's good. Man, there we go. Boom. Money. Boom. There we go. All right, so when you're deadlifting, you want to use a belt, no matter if the weight is heavy or light, simply for the fact that you want to engage your core and stabilize your spine by filling up the stomach with air. So, for example, if you have an empty soda can and you step on it, you're more likely to crush it, but a full soda can is so hard to crush. So I use the belt to stabilize my spine, come down, pull, and that's a better deadlift versus if you don't have, you might crush yourself without stabilizing your spine.
So my deadlift tip is actually about the curvature of the spine. Meaning a lot of times you hear people preach and be very, very adamant on having a neutral spine. And you want to be as tight as possible. You want to lock your lats in, especially from the bottom part of the deadlift. You want to maintain that tightness. But if you're someone like me who has a certain limb length, who actually starts in a little bit of a rounded back position, so you're a little bit more of a rounded back, and you want to pull, maintaining that back positioning the whole time. So if you start off with a little bit of a curvature, don't overthink that and think you need to focus on trying to straighten out your spine. You want to maintain a consistent spine and pull with your tightness intact the entire form of the deadlift.
Your little baby cows, money. Easy.
All right, my biggest tip is emphasizing control and power at the same time. I know that sounds impossible or it sounds like it goes against each other, but if you're too focused on slow control reps, you're not gonna have the power to really push through, especially with the chains, and to get the benefit there. And if you're just going raw power, you're gonna be all over the place. The chains are gonna be fighting you, really forces you to be tight with your form and emphasize great bar path. So instead, really focus on having a nice clean bar path, come down with control, powering up but staying in that correct line of bar path so you can get some really good quality reps at a great intensity. Here's how to properly spot somebody on the bench press. You're gonna ask them if they want to lift. He'll say yes. Grab the bench here. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Up. Good. Have him do his reps. You're gonna go 5 reps for me. 1, 2. Let's say he starts to struggle here on rep 4. Okay. Go ahead. 1 more. And he can't get it up now. So then you're gonna pull it up and come back and lock it in. Don't grab the bench or the bar too soon.
I'm actually gonna put some more guys. Money.
Lightweight, lightweight.
Another one. 8. Up. Holy.
So the first tip is to stabilize yourself before you take your first rep. And how we do that, I'm gonna actually show you. So we come in, put my back firmly onto the bench, then I take a breath to maximize my capacity. Right here, I stabilize before I come down, breathe again. So the bar path is going up and down. The chains actually create that earthquake effect. So if you don't stabilize yourself, it'll be all over the place. So here, just so you have that shoulder stability and putting emphasis all the way on the chest.
I would say one of the most important tips when you're doing a bench press variation that includes chains or any type of stability work, that you're setting yourself up the exact same way you would as if you're performing a normal bench press. And the reason you do that is because you're working to stabilize the bench press, specifically to improve the bench press movement. So you want to be replicating the exact same form you do for the normal bench press, and that's going to work and improve your stabilizers to get a stronger and more chest-focused bench press, so you can really optimally use the movement to build your chest and build your power.
Yep. Lock out. Push, 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 push. Oh my God. That's failure, right? That's free failure. My biggest tip for the bench is get a good group of people around you that lift heavier than you. So I got all these fine gentlemen who've been benching more than me. It's been a great time. It's definitely motivating. I've always been benching with Josh, who has a significantly bigger bench, so it'll always push you, get a good group of people, and your bench will skyrocket.
Run it over. Let's go, Kyle.
Money. That is heavy. Give money. Fingers can't do anything. Let's go.
Hey, bro, that's heavy.
All right, so we're super fortunate to have access to a prone row today. This machine is awesome because it forces you into a static position. It's a really dedicated row, really make sure you're working the right muscles and taking all the momentum out of the movement. And you might say, I don't have access to this, you've never seen this before. The truth is, I've never even had the opportunity to use this specific piece of equipment before myself, but I simulate this in my workouts by doing an incline row on a bench, where I'll lean forward into that bench on an incline, pull those dumbbells up, keep that static position of the chest, and take advantage of this fantastic movement at any gym. Easy way to tell if the weight that you're using for your rows is too heavy is if you feel it in your upper trap. Let me show you what I mean. So if you get up on here and the weight would be too heavy for you, you would feel a lot of it up by your neck and in the upper trap area. What I would do is lower the weight so that way you can pull your elbow towards your back pocket to feel it in the mid-back and your lats.
And my tip here, super simple, remember to breathe. I think a lot of people, when they get down to a position where they're laying flat on the ground, on a bench, anything like that, they forget to breathe, right? Because there's so much pressure against their chest. So just remember that, you'll stay alive and you'll get some good momentum going within the movement.
My tip on the row is to not just focus on the flex part of the row. A lot of people overemphasize the flex, and that's all they pay attention to on rowing movements, when the reality is they're missing a huge aspect of the row by neglecting the stretch. And the stretch is at that bottom portion of the row, and you want to get a deep stretch of the lats at the bottom. So instead of stopping right here, let your arms come to a full extension and get a deep stretch coming down. You'll activate the full muscle that way, and come all the way in, and then focus on the flex. So all the way out, get a deep stretch, and then all the way in, get a hard flex, and you'll be maximizing every row you do.
All right, the tip, depending if you want to train the lats, you want to go into a row motion, row towards your belly button to hit the lats more. If you want to hit those rear delts, then you will come more on closer to the chest. So, to emphasize the lats, you want to go to the belly button, rear delts, straight up. So again, to hit the lats, you want to roll to the belly button, hit the rear delts, or the middle traps rather. Come straight up, straight down.
Oh, baby. Flex that back.
Oh, my back? Woo!
Who is that? Yeah, buddy. Who is it? Ronnie Coleman? Him? Oh, I'm really. Squat to press is a great exercise when done correctly. Be sure that you're engaging your core, getting it really tight on the way down, so that way you can stabilize the spine. So down, tight, explode. Explode, explode. Keep those abs tight.
All right, so my biggest tip here, you could be really easy to focus on doing one thing, then the next, be really fixated on the shoulder press, especially if you're like Mike, you're a savage and you're doing 70s. Instead, it's really important you maximize that squat, you don't cheat yourself here. It's easy to just start doing these and really kind of get into that motion of just rushing through them. Instead, get a nice deep squat, power up, keep that core tight at the top, stay balanced, really focus on winning both parts of this movement.
So my tip here is just really plant your feet to the ground. It's so easy, especially when you start adding in extra things to lift the weight, to start to wobble, you know, have your heels come up, toes come up. Really plant your feet down, keep everything nice and tight. Bada boom, bada bing, you're good to go.
I don't have anything against CrossFit. I think it's pretty cool, but the only exercise I love from CrossFit is the thruster motion. The regular guys call it squat and press, but it's called a thruster. That's my favorite CrossFit movement.
My tip for the push press is to think of it as an overall type of movement to increase your overhead press. That's how I've always done the movement. And the reason is you have leg drive involved with the movement instead of a strict overhead press. So you should be able to handle more weight than doing the strict variation. So as you come down, get all the way down, and then explode up and press all the way up at the top. You'll be more powerful, you'll be able to handle more weight, which will transfer over to you being able to build more muscle doing the overhead press. Woo, we just freaking crushed it, aliens! Make sure to smash the thumbs up button and click that notification bell. Rate and subscribe so you don't miss new video uploads. Make sure to go check out Falconer Fitness, Gerardi Peformance, and Colossus Fitness. They all got some amazing content. We grow together, so make sure to show them some love. We will see you in that next video. Make sure if you're in Lauderdale, Florida, or any part of South Florida, check out the dungeon where the animals train. We'll see you in that next video. Peace!
Together we got power. Let's just rap it.